Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Bone Podcast, where we discuss all things crypto markets. That includes the majors like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, meme coins, and of course, NFTs. Today, we're going to discuss Beeple's viral NFT exhibition at Art Basel. We're going to talk about Michael Saylor's massive Bitcoin buy this morning, and we're going to talk about Fed rate cut predictions and how they're going to affect the crypto market. GM. Welcome to the show on another wonderful Monday. Thank you all for listening across all of our simulcasts. If you're listening on Twitter, give us a like, give us a comment, bookmark, retweet, push us out there in the algorithm. If you're listening on YouTube, drop a comment. Let us know what you're buying, what you're selling, how you made out over the weekend. Got a nice little bounce here. And if you're listening over on Zora, drop a comment. Let us know what the alpha is on Zora. What creator should we be looking to buy? I'm joined here today by Easy and Signal. Little bounce this weekend. Not a ton of news in the crypto space outside of some Art Basel stuff. How you feeling this week, Sig?
Feeling good, Ray. Feeling good. I've decided. You know how Easy always just has this annoying typing that he does when we're talking or when it's the intro song. I feel like he's onto something now because I've been spending a bit too much time on TikTok recently. And one of my recent discoveries, I don't know if you've heard it, it's a Teach Me How to Doogie X Enya remix, which is two songs you would never think that would go together, but it slaps so hard. And I'm thinking that's what Easy's doing with all the intros at the moment. He's doing his typing, which is incredibly annoying. But on this track, it worked. It works. And I was like, he's onto something. Easy's onto something here.
I'm early.
It's been a quiet
I'm always
week.
early.
Look, you're early. You're always early, man. You're always early. No, all in all, like for me, the last couple of weeks, I've just sort of I haven't been pushing too many buttons. There's just been a bit too much volatility, too much action that I could not predict which way we're going. I'm happy that we haven't stayed in the low 80s and we keep kind of like bouncing between this 80 to 90 range. But I don't think going in towards the end of the year, this phase is necessarily over. I think we could easily just go whoop, right back down to 81, 80. And I don't mind. I'm not scared or anything, but I just don't think I have to be clicking buttons all year. And this is the time where I'm clicking less.
Yeah, I'm doing a ton less clicking right now. I've done well on the few things I have clicked. So that kind of feels good. But yeah, I'm not over trading, looking for new opportunities. That's kind of like my mantra. We have a lot to talk about. I got like a ton of stuff I'm really interested in from over the weekend. So why don't we kick a weather report off here in a second, Sig? But first, going to give a shout out to our partners over at Gemini. Absolutely love Gemini. Absolutely love this card. I had this card myself. I've been loading up on the 5% everything cash back that's live right now. I'm not sure when it ends. I think it's this week or next week. Absolutely love it. Been crushing this, buying the dip on Bitcoin with this. Big fans of what they have over at Gemini. Did you know that your credit card points and miles can lose value to inflation while they collect dust? Other credit card companies often reduce the redemption value of your points and miles over time. Now imagine a card with rewards that can grow in value. With the Gemini credit card, you can earn Bitcoin or one of 50 other cryptocurrencies instantly with no annual fee. Every swipe at the store or gas pump earns you instant rewards deposited straight into your account. Plus, if you sign up today at bodoggos.com/Gemini, you will get a $50 Bitcoin bonus directly into your account. Bodoggos.com/Gemini. Love working with Gemini. Love this product. Awesome when you can earn crypto rewards with a credit card. That being said, let's kick off a little weather report action, Sig, and dive into it.
Yeah, let's get into it, folks. On Monday, December 8th, looking at that crypto roundup, the majors have bounced over the weekend with Bitcoin over 91K, Ethereum at 3,100 and Solana at 138 with hype just holding around $30. Over the past weekend, top three stories. Well, firstly, Beeple's regular animals exhibition at Art Basel went viral over on mainstream media and trad art markets. The exhibition featured robotic dogs wearing masks of world leaders. The 256 suppliers supply collection generated from the exhibition currently sits at a 10.9 ETH floor. Next up, Michael, we just referred to him by Michael now, unloads the bank and buys just shy of 1 billion worth of Bitcoin. The buy marks the largest purchase since late July and was funded through selling MSTR shares at the market. And then finally, we have a busy week of macro as the Fed will be making their decision on rates this week on Wednesday. PolyMarket odds of a single 25 basis point cut are currently at 95%. That is all for the weather report. It is back to you in the studio.
Excellent weather report as always, Signal. Lots to unpack there. The Beeple news being the headline. This thing's now up to 15.2 ETH in terms of floor price. Looking at just sales, we have seen like a ton of volume on this collection. Many sales above 10 ETH. The current resting offer is at 7.5 ETH right now. So that's like what, $22,000, $23,000. For those who aren't aware, this is essentially an exhibit at Art Basel, and it featured these like robotic dogs, and they have like Elon Musk masks and Kim Jong-un, and I think like Mark Zuckerberg. There's even a Beeple. So basically what happens is these dogs are walking around in this kind of like ring, and they all have cameras attached to them. So they're constantly taking pictures. And then the NFT portion of this is like each dog will like take pictures, and when it finds like an interesting photo that it like deems like worthy, I suppose, it will then like poop a picture out the back of it. And that picture is like a print and then also an NFT as part of this collection. And the AI model for each of these dog robots, like it shows the image in like that person's kind of like worldview. So for the like the Zuckerberg model, here's an example we're showing up on screen now. It's kind of like a Matrix metaverse style image. This one is a Warhol. You can kind of very clearly see it's like an Andy Warhol type print. This is a Picasso. You can kind of really easily see like the Picasso elements here, and like so on. So like all the different like robot masks have their own kind of AI it's trained on. So this is a pretty cool collection. Basically like blending IRL, physical, digital, and then also capturing a lot of attention. So I think this is like a very cool moment for NFTs and NFT art. I would love to hear your take on this, Sig. What do you think about this collection? Do you think it's appropriately valued right now? Like I was debating even buying some of these earlier in the weekend.
I absolutely love this collection. I think he first of all, you can see how much kind of time he spends on Twitter. I think he's just hit so many nuances of current culture, and then at the same time blended his traditional art background, his digital background, and just made this beautiful concoction of like everything we know that is Beeple. I also wouldn't expect this from him so much, but at the same time you kind of do. And I love that he takes his weird, erratic kind of when we all see like giant penises on Twitter all the time, and then he's put it into these robotic dogs, like that kind of craziness that you see of him as an artist, but you're not seeing that on the timeline. Now you're seeing it IRL. I think this is such a strong blend of so many different sides of him, like the culture, the art, he's captured the zeitgeist. That is it. He's managed to capture the zeitgeist in this collection, and I'm really happy to see this break out of crypto and go into mainstream media. It's probably one of the strongest exhibitions at Art Basel this year, if not one of the strongest exhibitions I think we've seen over the last 5 years or so. I can't think of many that have broken out into like from crypto into mainstream art media.
Yeah, OX Fetty is commenting, did Art Basel attendees get the chance to mint these? I think they were giving away prints, and I think he was giving away mints, but I don't know like exactly what the like distribution process was. Would have been really cool if people like were just handed $20-some thousand. Talk about like onboarding the masses. Art Basel is like traditionally more like physical art focused than it is NFT art focused.
Which one of these would you pick up out of the
I really like the Elon ones. The diagram.
Can we have a look?
Yeah, I like these.
Oh, I like that. It's very Da Vinci.
Yeah, so like it's very like it's like a schematic almost is how they're set up. How do we look at these?
Can we see some more? I'm not sure. Look, like I think it's a very cool collection. Very cool collection. I can see the price on these wildly fluctuating over time, but to come out this strong at who's that one? Is that Mark? To come out this strong and hold such a high floor is just like a testament to people still being able to get attention across all mediums. It'll be interesting to watch what the price action of this does. His early Nifty Gateway collections still are doing extremely well. They still hold a very strong price. I think these will hold over the long term for sure. I just don't know if you should be grabbing one now at 15 ETH or waiting off a bit. I don't know. It's hard to tell right now, but he's really continuously proving himself within this space. Like he's one of the artists who are a testament to the space that they can still hold value, hold attention, different types of art. It doesn't matter. Like here, there's no conversation about which blockchain it's on, and I'm glad there's no conversation about that. It's just about the art, and I don't think there's many people being able to do it at this level still for the last 5 years.
Yeah, these are great. I'm definitely not buying at 15 ETH. I was really close to putting offers in around 5 and 6 ETH over the weekend when that was kind of like the offer floor. We saw some go for as low as 5 ETH when it launched. So I was very tempted to put in some offers there. As I mean, 250 collections is not a lot, and there's not a ton of these Beeple collections. I think this one could be like one of the best Beeple collections we see. I think a lot's going to depend on like where the story goes from here. Like I could see some of these like selling for pretty large numbers.
I'd love to have the original Polaroid to go with it. I don't know if that's part of the collection, but I would love to have the original. If you were to buy one of these dogs, but to get the Polaroid that you buy when you're on OpenSea, that would be cool as well. And also, just like to understand, can the dogs continue to just poo out more Polaroids, or was it just a one-off?
256 total supply. So I think there's 70 some that haven't been distributed yet in one wallet, essentially. So like 183 have been like minted, and I think there's more that are going to be distributed over time. So like it's 256 is the cap.
Okay, so if I buy the dog, it's not going to be pooing out any more Polaroids for like in my home as it walks.
It's not like those art gobblers,
like doing what does.
Well, I think
physicals
come out. I think there's a difference between physical and there's a difference between physical and NFT. Like Blade's saying, there are 1,000 physicals were given out at the exhibition. 256 had an NFT with them.
Okay, so, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yep. Staying over on OpenSea and NFTs right now, fwogs have started to reveal this morning. Someone in the YouTube comments pointed out, seeing a ton of volume here on reveal like we usually do, holding at 0.17 floor. This was basically 0.2 pre-reveal, so an expected small dump. I like some of these. I like this guy with the suit on here. Were you on last week when we talked about these, Sig?
No, I wasn't here. Tell me about the fwogs. It's good art.
Yeah, it was like the first time in a while where I've seen NFTs. I'm like, oh, these are actually pretty cool.
They're cute. I like them.
Yeah. We were looking at the one-on-ones.
Do you own any?
No, I don't own any now. I was thinking about buying some pre-reveal, but I held off. The one-of-ones looked pretty awesome in this collection. We were looking at them like specifically when they were minting because we didn't really have a good like view of like normal ones, but like some of the one-of-ones are like really cool.
So easy. You're normally one of these people who like sees these at 0.05, decides not to buy them, and then it races up. Were you on these, the fwogs?
No, I wasn't. I have a one of one in the collection, but never got minted on chain. So that you're supposed to get like free ones for that. Groot, the artist, is just like a friend too, so I'm excited to see them do well. I like the way that they rolled these out. I think the blind boxes are cool. It seems we're seeing more of these physical to digital plays. G-Boy is another one that's doing a similar playbook with this, where they just released blind boxes, and I believe there's some token standpoint that's coming from it, and then an NFT. I personally want to wait on these. I don't know. I don't know how I feel. I don't know if I want to buy them. I'm just like not really in an NFT mood as of late.
Yeah, I think it's gonna take a bit to like bring back an NFT market. These ones are nice though, but if you're trying to quick flip like a 0.17 ETH NFT, it takes a lot more movement to get something like 2x at this point. So I know what you're realistically looking for with this collection, but I mean, I do like it. Do like the art. Do like the community behind Fog. So pretty cool. We got 5,555. What's the market cap of this collection? 0.17 ETH, say 3,100 ETH. 2.9 mil market cap on this NFT collection. Fog, I think, is just shy of 13 right now. So, I mean, you could look at it. I think Fog was actually doing pretty well today. Yes, Fog's 12 mil right now, which seems low for where Fog was, but you haven't seen a lot of life out of some of these older meme coins. Just kind of flatline.
Look, they've done a really good job on the art, like a really good job. And even though it might not be time now where everyone's clicking buttons on NFTs, there's just not the real appetite for it. These will definitely be some of the NFTs to capture attention when that moment comes around again. So I feel like if it's a strong enough collection with a strong enough meme behind it, you just kind of have to wait for it to come, and it might be sooner rather than later. January, like those first couple of weeks in January, I find the momentum on the market is normally quite strong, simply because everyone's been tax loss harvesting into the end of the year, and then when we go into January, everyone starts buying again. So I'd be waiting for first week of Jan.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to see like the larger NFT market rally before I'm buying like a post reveal PFP collection on secondary. It's kind of my thought process. I really like this page by OpenSea, the Explore page. Best deals, rarest items for sale, top sales this past week, recent sales. It's like all the things you want to look at for a collection. We saw a couple 2 ETH sales here on one of ones, which is nice. We got some rare ones for sale as well. Yeah, I'm gonna hold off on NFTs for now. Minting new stuff, yes, but it's gonna be a lot trickier to figure out like how the market is gonna go over time. I mean, these are already down to 0.16. If I really like these and I like really thought that it was gonna move, I'd probably drop some offers around like 0.1, 0.07 and just sit and wait. Maybe my strategy, but we'll see how it goes. Love the artwork, love the community over at Fog. So pretty cool stuff there. Moving on, we've got Michael Saylor. We got Michael buying almost $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. $962 million. This is the biggest buy since July 29th. Maybe getting back in the swing of things. This was, I believe, from at the market sales of MSTR, which has been like a point of contention for a while, where people didn't want him to dilute the stock further, but it looks like they're continuing to do that, to buy more Bitcoin at these prices. I have the purchases of Bitcoin up on screen right now. 10,000 Bitcoin. Most of these bought, like I said, late July when he bought 21,000, almost 2.4 billion for that buy. Notably, like there's only been today and 2 weeks ago are the only buys over 100 million since September. So it's been a cool period in terms of Bitcoin buys for strategy. It has been one of the biggest net buyers of Bitcoin. And I think probably is part of the reason we've seen this lagging period of Bitcoin without as much buy pressure. Curious what you make of this buy. Do you think we continue to see strong buy momentum out of Michael Saylor? And do we need Michael Saylor supporting Bitcoin price over like the near term? I don't know if you have any thoughts.
You definitely don't want. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, you're good.
You definitely don't want essentially the number one supporter of Bitcoin just not buying it anymore or discrediting it or, sort of changing their strategy. But I do feel like we're getting to a point where his buys are not what is holding the market up. Not that they ever were. I think at the beginning, when we were going from that sort of like 60K to 70 to 80, and there was that accumulation phase, I think his buys were extremely important. Then when we broke over 100 and we managed to stay there for a very long period of time, we saw that there are other institutional players coming in and there's more market support. I don't think for this next phase that his buys are as important as they were before. I think the narrative has shifted and people are looking for new players to come in. But I think new players are accumulating. I just think they're accumulating quietly, and he accumulates loudly, obviously. But I think there are a lot of players out there, private entities, that are accumulating Bitcoin, but don't say anything about it. And then at some point in the next 12 to 18 months, they'll come out and say, we have all this Bitcoin, because countries are buying, sovereign wealth players are buying, pension funds are buying. You've seen Vanguard come out and say that they're going to be allowing retail clients. Like, there's so many entities now buying this asset. I just don't see a world in which we stay at the level of 80K for the next 24 months. I'm not saying that we can't break 80, but I just break 80 going down. I just think we're going to slowly accumulate upwards. I also don't think we're going to get to 250K, within the next 12 months. I don't think that's the case, but I do think as more large institutional players and more people put this asset into their long-term IRAs, pension portfolios, this will be an asset that continues to go up in price. Like for me, that's just the most obvious, and which is why the narrative of is Michael buying or is Michael not buying is weakening over time.
Yeah, I don't know the details on all these different products, but they still have a ton of capital they can raise at the market. Looking at the combination between MicroStrategy common stock and some of the other derivative stocks, STRF, STRC, STRK, there's like almost $40 billion worth of at the market issuance that could happen. So there definitely is some more like firepower there. It's just a matter of like when they deploy it. And I think I agree. I don't think he is necessary, but I do think that him buying signals confidence in the market that may have an impact on how other funds are navigating, whether they're buying or kind of holding off and having like a wait and see approach. Another big buyer in terms of treasuries, we had Bitmine bought another $435 million worth of ETH, increase their cash holdings as well. So they are continuing to just plug along. They're up to over 3% of the ETH supply right now. They're down on their buys. The MNAV of their stock is below 1. They still have, about $1 billion worth of cash. 62% of the way to their target of 5% of the ETH supply. Tom Lee just does not stop buying. He's been one that's been very consistent. If you look at this chart of ETH purchase, so he's been buying like multiple times per week over the course of 6 months and over 6 months now. So great to see that. ETH has been holding up fairly well, outperforming Bitcoin over the weekend, up almost 8% over the last 24 hours. Bitcoin's almost lagging the majors right now on this rally. I do want to talk about the price movement we've seen. Easy, what are you looking at? I know you're in the synthetic trading competition. What kind of levels have you been looking at over the weekend? Can you give us like a refresh on what you're trading or what looks interesting in terms of perps?
I'm currently long Zcash and Solana right now.
Long Zcash and Solana, purely based on levels. Any thesis?
Yeah, I mean, the Zcash chart is holding higher lows, which is why I like it. And the timeline continues to dunk on it, saying like your favorite influencers nuked on your head. which is usually like a good sign for me to be like, okay, the bottom's probably in on this. Sol, specifically, I like Sol because ETH is also showing some strength here. Whereas Bitcoin's still struggling to hold 92K. So I don't know how long I'm going to hold these longs, just because when you have Bitcoin kind of making actions like this, I'm like, I want Bitcoin over 92K for me to really be excited. If we can get that, I'll feel really good for Bitcoin to hold. Yeah. So I mean, that's kind of where my head's at. Is like right now, I want Bitcoin to show some strength over 92K. Hyperliquid looks rough. That one chart I look at and I'm like, oof, man, this is a little bit tough right now. Whereas there's other charts out there that I do think look a little bit better. Like I said, the Solana chart, ETH chart looks good. The Zcash chart is probably my favorite chart right now. I'm also like, I almost want to take a flyer on Monad because that seems to be in a consolidation area as long as it stays above like 0.025. But alts right now seem like they're showing more strength than Bitcoin. My only concern is if Bitcoin flushes back to 88K, we're going to see a pretty hard push down across the board.
Yeah, that's the thing about alts. Like they can give you outsized returns, but if Bitcoin struggles and loses,
it's still the leader.
Yeah,
it's still the leader.
I hope that we just don't sit in a chop range for weeks on end. But I think I want to say that that's what I think is going to happen. I think we're going to sit in this choppy range all the way through January. And we're going to go up to 92, 95, maybe back to 83. And then it's just going to be this period of consolidation distribution for a while until we get another run. We do have the rate cut on the way. It looks like this is all but decided. Are you trading either the mentioned market on this easy, or are you looking for any sort of language out of Powell forward looking? Like, what are your thoughts here with the FOMC on Wednesday?
I like the mentioned market personally. AI, artificial intelligence, 3+ times. I almost like the no on that. I've been watching it pretty closely, and there's certainly a few markets on there that I like when it comes to the mention side. I think Powell is one of, if not the best mention market to trade because of his consistency. So you can look at previous markets from him and actually get a very good idea on a lot of stuff. The AI artificial intelligence one is the one that I do like near a coin flip for 3+ times. Pandemic, people also do like, but I've looked at the past few transcripts and he's almost shied away from it. So I kind of like no on pandemic for a small position. And then I do like I mentioned, AI artificial intelligence 3+ times no. The concern is that's obviously ramping in the economy and leading to a lot more unemployment with AI taking people's jobs. So it could get brought up a couple times. It's been brought up once before in the main talk and then usually in Q&A. So that's where my head goes for that. But I like that. I think taking no on Trump, even at 90 cents, is free. He never says Trump. He'll say the president or completely bypass saying a name. I also like no on shutdown. It's tough, though, because this is the first FOMC back since the shutdown. So it probably gets brought up. I'd probably actually stay away from that. But I think pause is a no, because I do think they end up doing a rate cut. So if you think they do a 25 BPS cut, you should take the no on pause. If you think that they do a pause, then you take the yes. Like if they don't cut, you take yes. So that one's a decent position there at 61 cents when rate cut odds are much higher. Rate cut odds are currently sitting at, I believe, like 90%.
Yeah, 95.
So
yeah,
95. So then I would take the no on pause at 61. AI artificial intelligence 3+ times no, and then pandemic no would be the three that I'm like closer in for positions I like. With mentioned markets, you should basically always use bids. Personally, that's where I found the most success. Yeah, that's where my head is with it. So that's kind of where I'm looking.
The pause, that could also be forward looking, right? Like you could say like we cut, but we may pause next year.
He usually doesn't forecast that hard by saying we may pause. He'll usually say like we're going to wait and assess the data before we make a decision. He doesn't forecast like we're looking for a cut next meeting or we're looking for a pause. He'll say we're waiting for the data before making a determination. The pause could get brought up in a situation where one of the Fed chair members of the board dissents and doesn't agree with the 25 BPS cut.
Yeah, some board members wanted a pause.
Yeah, so that's like the one area that could be, but I like it here, even at 61 cents. So order book's not like terribly deep. You could probably throw some bids in closer to 60, 59, 60 cents and see if you can get filled. I like those. I also like SP Energy 69,420 saying to fade me. Dude, I've been on a heater the last like 3 or 4 days. We've been having like yesterday, I think we went plus 2K. So it's been a decent market. I did take a loss this morning, thinking MicroStrategy would not buy over 1,000 Bitcoin. There were some insiders on it. I took a no for like $600. Probably should have just followed the insiders. I normally don't trade insider markets anymore because I don't like positions like that. But overall, I'm not too worried anymore. It's the FOMC stuff. I like those mentions a lot just because the historical precedent of how consistent he is with stuff. I like taking those markets.
Any other markets you're looking at right now? Mentions, earnings?
There's a Sam Altman Tonight Show mention market. I have a couple positions on. Not like anything too crazy though. That's the thing. Like right now, I'm not in a huge rush to make swings on stuff. I'd rather kind of pick spots and stuff that ends soon so that we can make some trades that are closer to like more higher likelihoods that I feel are mispriced. Like there's markets basically every day that you can catch in the 70 to 80% range that are resolving and find some decent opportunity on it, which is where my brain goes for a lot of this stuff. And that's kind of why I prefer to trade it.
I like Trump or election. 35% yes on the Tonight Show. I like this one.
Oh, see, I don't like Trump on that one. I think election's interesting, but I actually like the no on that one just because the context. I think the other thing to note is he's not the only guest. There's 2 guests tonight, Mila Kunis and him. So he won't be the main focal point for the entirety of the episode. He'll have about 30 minutes versus the full hour, which that to me means it'll be a shorter talk, heavier focus on stuff like the AI side of things. Like API, AGI, I think yes on that should be closer to like 90%. He almost always says that AGI is closer than we expect. So I like that for the yes, if you can get it between 65 and 70. I like Sora 3+ times no, just because Sora is now like almost on the back burner for them when it comes to like the image generation. Now that it's completely integrated.
You know, easy like the Tonight Show.
Go ahead, Sig.
I was going to say that isn't the Tonight Show pretty lighthearted, where it's more likely stuff like Elon, Trump would come up rather than a more formal interview where he's not likely to name his nemesis?
Yes and no. So there's times where that stuff gets brought up, but there's also situations where like if Altman is in any sort of engaged situation, like with the Elon stuff, could it be viewed as awkward if he gets asked a question about Elon because he doesn't actually feel comfortable discussing it on a live situation where it's not like pre-recorded and scripted? So because of that, I lean more on the no for Elon and Trump, just simply because Sam Altman's already somewhat of an awkward speaker, that them putting him in an awkward situation could really derail the show. And they do not want to make their guests look bad. Where I could see Fallon saying, I think it's Fallon, right? Is the one on this on tonight's show? Yeah, Fallon is the one. He's historically very much like, he'll say Trump, he'll say all this stuff, make jokes about MAGA, but this is about what Sam Altman says. So it's like specific to him. What comes out of Sam Altman's mouth? Where they can make jokes about deepfake. They could make the AGI stuff. They're going to ask him about AI, especially because that is the hot button topic right now. And that's why I lean more on it. You have the Time Person of the Year looking like Sam Altman's actually making a push on that up to 13%. Jensen Huang now making a move as well. And AI is actually the front runner at like 41%. So those are very interesting to me just because I think that could get brought up. Like that's almost where I'm looking. Like Sam Altman's actually moved from 6% to 14% over the last 3 days. So he's starting to push, and it seems like the media is starting to push this narrative for him to be the Time Person of the Year. And I think you could actually have a multi-person cover where it's AI, Jensen, and Sam Altman. But it all depends on who they name first. I'm personally staying away from the Time Person of the Year market. And the one I like better is the Who Makes the Times 2025 shortlist. That's the one I'm more interested in because they name roughly 10 people to that short list. So for that one, I like Trump, Jensen Huang, Sam Altman, AI, Zoran's skyrocketing right now, which is very interesting to see. Vladimir Zelensky is moving up. The sleeper I really like on this market is for them to put Maria Corina Machado on, who won the Nobel Peace Prize for the short list. We had 21%. So like just to get on the short list, I do like those odds. My only concern would be they don't release a short list, which is the risk that you take. Yeah. So that's like where I'm at with this is also, by the way, Zcash God Candle.
Really? Let's go.
Yeah.
Anybody trading live with us?
But yeah, so there's a lot of decent plays to make. I'm actually like excited for this challenge to end so I can start making more trades outside of it. Because right now it's like a lot more short dated stuff that I'm making to try to recoup cash and start making a push back up. We're 25% of the way to the goal right now, with 23 days left, 24 days, because we had count today and the last day of the month. So we made a really big push over the weekend. I was just trading Counter-Strike markets, the video game, because there was like a ton of price inefficiencies on those markets where I was trading in and out.
On which markets were those?
Counter-Strike, the video game.
Yeah, I saw that. How was that? Are you a big Counter-Strike fan, or like were you?
I've never watched it before Friday, and I got so into it. I like started realizing who the players were. And the thing with video game markets, unlike sports, is they're so heavily momentum driven that like if you watch so it's best of 24. And when you watch, you'll quickly see like what team has the momentum edge and who's just the better team. So like if I'm playing this, which I'll play this again when it happens on Thursday. There's like I like Vitality and Furia are the two like heavy favorites at 76 cents and 74 cents. I think both of them just absolutely destroy the competition personally. Like I watched every match all 3 days, full rounds, every game, and I was like just so into it. It was a lot of fun. I didn't realize esports could be that fun. So yeah, it was a lot of fun to trade those markets. I probably traded a disgusting amount. And I know El Dorado, there's so many people who trade the Counter-Strike markets that they were all commenting on it. And for me, I was like, yeah, this is just fun. Like I just genuinely enjoyed watching it. It felt like watching like sports, but way more chaotic. And the matches were so quick that I just got really into it. Like, I don't know. It was fun. It's also cool because the Rec guy, the Rec logo, Rec Drinks, is on the FaZe Clan jersey. So FaZe has their logo on the sleeve. So like watching them was a ton of fun to watch. I think they get absolutely destroyed by Mouse on Thursday, personally. Like it's interesting to watch that some teams have chemistry. They've been playing together a while. Some teams have brought new people in. That was interesting to me to watch and like learn about this whole ecosystem very quickly. I like basically threw myself into the fire and was like, yep, this is really fun. So it's way closer to sports gambling for sure. But when you watch live, you can quickly get a feel for some of the stuff, which I thought was the fun part.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's the equivalent to sports gambling, right? Like anything on these sports markets is basically
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. It's way more in line with sports gambling than anything else. Like the risk level's way higher. But once again, with prediction markets, getting in and out of positions is way easier. Like I was buying underdogs at like 23 cents and able to sell them at 40 cents when they won a game or two and made a push back up and then flipped back to like the favorite on some of these other odds, which led me to make a ton of trades, but also make some good profit across the board.
Is there any dashboard that shows PolyMarket volume? I would love to see where you rank in terms of volume.
I don't know where I rank on volume, but I think I'm officially over 1 million, which everyone thinks that like I'm probably just doing this. Yeah, I'm at 1,015,000 right now. I've traded 572 markets. Yeah, it's been good. Like overall, it's been fun. My 180-day prediction has 3 different odds here. Either I make $7,000 in profit, I trade flat, or I lose 34K. So it's got some interesting odds here. We'll see what happens. I like the challenge. The challenge has made it fun to just explore these ecosystems and be very aggressive on certain plays.
Yeah, I love to see. I'm having a lot of fun following you on the prediction markets. Switching gears back to crypto. We had some news out of Binance. Apparently, they moved their headquarters from Cayman Islands to Abu Dhabi after getting some international licensing figured out. And we had CZ debate Peter Schiff. Did you guys see this this debate
Yeah, that
happen
was
at
fun.
Blockchain Week in Dubai?
That was fun.
CZ, I'm gonna
I
share
saw
this.
snippets.
He pulls out a gold bar while debating Peter Schiff to like show how inconvenient it is.
The government. Let's talk about gold for a little bit. I have a magic box. If we can get that up, so we take it out. It's pretty heavy. You can see, like it says, Turkestan, 7 grams, fine gold, 99.9.9.
Yes, yeah, it's heavy.
Is it real gold or no?
Well, I don't know. I mean, is this what you're trying to? I mean, let's see how it looks. Well, the color is a little. This is pure gold. My bracelet is pure gold, so the color looks a little off. I don't know. I mean, probably. Maybe it's not real gold.
So he basically tries to like get Peter Schiff like pull one over on him, like show him how hard it is to verify gold. And he's like, you can't take that with you on the flight back without declaring that and then paying taxes on it, can you? And like they continue to argue. I haven't seen the whole debate yet. It's on my list of things to watch today, but I thought that was pretty interesting. And he basically said, with Bitcoin, you can verify it instantly. You can see where it is. You don't have to worry about carrying it. It's not heavy. But I thought that was a pretty fun little tidbit with CZ versus Peter Schiff on there.
I like that they did that at Binance Blockchain Week. I was like, this was a nice touch by them to have this happen.
Yeah, really cool. Not too much else to say there. I'm gonna run through some quick hitters before we begin to wrap things up today. Lots of news over on the macro side. You can get all this information right to your inbox every weekday and on weekends. dailybones.com to sign up for our newsletter. Completely free, no charge at all. The US M2 money supply hit a new all-time high. MetaMask integrated PolyMarket directly into their wallet. Google searches for debasement hit a new all-time high this month. US prosecutors seek 12-year sentence for Do Kwon. Wisdom Tree launched a staked ETF for ETH today. Bitcoin mining probability has now fallen to record lows. Argentina's central bank may lift their crypto ban. USDC is now linked between Hypercore and Hyper EVM. Robinhood acquired an Indonesian brokerage firm to expand operations there. Infinex has their snapshot extended until tomorrow. Make sure to check those crates on Infinex. And Western Union is going to offer a prepaid stable coin debit card. That's all of the breaking news over the last 48 hours. Get this, like I said, every day, dailybones.com to sign up. We lost Sig for a second there, but she's back now. You all good, Sig?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm all good. No, I wanted to say on CZ's presentation of the gold bar, I thought that was so powerful when he did that, because gold bars are very heavy, and that was only one of them that he was carrying. But the second point that I was thinking is that sometimes I think that the analogy to gold is actually not good for Bitcoin, because if you look at what happened recently, gold went on this beautiful run and it just kept going up, and Bitcoin didn't. In fact, it was reversing and going the other way. And I think that maybe the analogy to gold is not helping it, because people then compare it to gold and expect it to do in its performance what gold is doing. And then when it doesn't do that, people are like, well, why isn't it doing it? If it's not hedging against inflation and if it's not acting like gold, then why am I holding it? And sometimes I've been thinking that maybe as a space, we should be changing what the analogy is of Bitcoin to people who don't understand it, because for them to just sort of come back and say, well, in times of stress, it doesn't actually do what gold does. So what's the point? It can't be digital gold then. It was just a thought that I was having over the last month or so, as we've seen like Bitcoin decline quite heavily in price action, and then for it to proceed to not actually act as a hedge when markets have been declining, but to see that gold does. And at the same time, for everybody to rush on chain to see how they can leverage gold in different ways across different blockchains, different platforms, use it as collateral. Like it hasn't been behaving in the same way. It was just a thought, but I still really like what CZ did in that debate. I think it was extremely powerful imagery for trying to win that debate and make his point.
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting, like pulling it out, like just like trying to like show you the like highlight the inconvenience, I suppose. Yeah, so like they did talk about tokenized gold too versus like standard gold. I think that was like one of the main points. I'll need to dive into it some more, but I know like Peter Schiff was like kind of okay with tokenized gold, but still like preferred the physical. You can catch all of that. I think Binance has it on their page. Anything else you guys want to cover before we head out of here and wrap things up today?
I think that's everything, Ray.
All right,
No,
we covered
I'm
it.
good. I
Catch
think
you
we
again
managed to
tomorrow.
catch up. I missed the hitters, but I heard you go through them.
We'll wrap up for today. Thank you all for listening. It's been a wonderful Monday, start of the week. Prices are up. Love to see it. You can catch our podcast Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time. You can catch us on all major podcasting platforms, Apple, Spotify. Watch us back on YouTube, Zora, if you want to see what we're talking about.